Being an anime fan means that I have to socialize with other anime fans. Though usually this is an excellent thing to do, and I love getting into conversations with people about anime and our shared interests and what our interpretations of the shows and all that. I really enjoy it. But there are certain things in the anime circles that really piss me off. Now, a lot of these things are just personal issues that some people have or I have, but generally they can really get on people's nerves, and these are things that we should really either think about stop, or alter our way of perceiving them and acting upon them. Either way, it's a top 5 list. Let's go. Number 5. Belittling people over their preferences and choice of versions. This also includes people that yell and argue with people over the pronunciation of manga or manga. I've had people that will absolutely go bonkers at people for no fucking reason other than the fact that they said manga instead of manga. I'm sure a lot of people have experienced this as well as me. Well, also you get a lot of people that argue, oh, if you don't watch the sub version, you're not a true anime fan, you're not an otaku. Like, personally, I'm an old taku. I prefer older animes because most of the newer ones just haven't been rubbing my sweet spot, so to speak. But the main thing is that you get these people that just are always so condescending to people that prefer a dubbed version. It's their preference, let them have their preferences. Stop being a dick about it and start bloody accepting these other fans that prefer a dubbed version. Like me, I prefer a dubbed version mainly because I don't want to spend the entire anime missing half of the visuals because I'm looking at the bottom inch of the damn screen. I don't know Japanese. I'd love to learn it, but I just haven't got the mental capacity to actually do it. Now, if you excuse me, I'm going to go read some manga.
It's pronounced Manga! Manga, you idiot! Hit without the concept of a soft A sound! Manga, you bastard! You stupid son of a bitch! It's pronounced Manga! What the hell, you fucking
Number 4. Complaining that the anime does not follow the manga. You'll hear this argument so many times. Oh, I didn't like that anime. Oh, well, that's because it didn't follow the manga. If it followed the manga, everybody would have loved it. Listen, when you're adapting something from a comic book style or manga style into an audio-visual medium or an anime or a friggin' live action, things have to change. They had to do that with things like Lord of the Rings, which apparently everybody loves, even though I didn't really enjoy it that much. It's just friggin' annoying. You've got to understand, you can't turn every single freaking image into the anime. They just can't do that. Things have to be cut. Characters have to be cut. Scenes have to be cut. Entire arcs have to be cut sometimes. You have to understand that. If you don't like the anime because it doesn't follow the manga, don't watch the anime, go back to the manga. It doesn't take anything away from the manga. It's just a different adaptation. Understand that and stop getting so pissy. Number 3. Adaptation bias. Now this one's a little bit harder for me to explain because I'm not very good with words, as a lot of my viewers know, which I'm surprised if I actually have viewers. But main thing is, what I'm saying is that when someone watches a show, an anime mainly, they'll pull an interpretation of what that scene means or that ending means, and somebody else might have a completely different opinion of it. Now, some people will defend to the death that the interpretation that they made up was the only one that matters. They won't listen, they won't discuss, they just go, they dig their heels in like stubborn mules and will refuse to discuss the ending, only discussing it to bloody push what they interpreted through rather than letting other people hear and see others' opinions. I'm really not putting this across very well. All I'm saying is that endings and meanings of shows should be open to interpretation and discussion. I think that's what I'm saying. Number 2. Refusing to take any criticism of the show that they like. No matter how constructive, these people will get completely bitter, angry, and start abusing the crap out of people simply for stating their opinion. I've come under fire a couple of times on this show, mainly because I said things like, I didn't like Paranoia Agent, I thought it was a piece of shit. I got so much flack for that when I put that video out. Recently I got done for saying that Cowboy Bebop was overrated. Although on this hand, I was able to talk with the person who sent me a message entitled "You Suck." I replied, explaining my position. He replied back, and actually that person actually listened, which was actually a real surprise, because normally people just dig their heels in and get completely bitter. That's the thing. You've got to understand that people are going to draw their own opinion about a show. Just because you like it doesn't mean everybody has to like it. And just because you hate it doesn't mean everybody has to hate it. That's the point of sharing opinions and talking to each other. You might be able to convince the person that it's better than they thought. Like, I've been convinced on a few animes that I thought was really bad, and then someone brought it to my light that, this scene is a little bit better if you watch it drunk, or something along that lines. And I tried it and it worked. This is just a balls park bloody stuff around thing, but I'm just saying that, sometimes, if you have a conversation with someone, whether you hate it or like the anime, you talk it out, and sometimes you can find a compromise. Like, you might be able to say, this character, the entire story arc of them is completely retarded. And they might say, no, it's a good story arc. And you could bring up the points that you didn't like, they could bring up the points they like, and then you might be able to find some common ground on things that you both liked or disliked. The thing is, if you just start abusing somebody for sharing their opinion, the whole anime community is just going to be infighting for the rest of the bloody time. And really, we've got enough enemies in the world being anime fans than we need at the moment. I've been put under shitloads of fire because I really like a lot of ultra-violent animes. Like, personally, I watched Violent Jack and I thought it was shit, mainly because it was boring, but people say it's terrible because it's violent, and really, it's not that violent. There's a lot more violent animes out there. Either way, I'm getting off track. This is a bit of a tangent. I'm just saying that, talk things out. Don't get abusive. If you're going to abuse something, abuse their opinion, not the person, at least. Start there and then try and become a bit better person. Stop being a bitter arsehole towards people, and stop belittling somebody or abusing somebody just because they don't share your exact opinion. There's lots of anime out there. People are going to like and dislike certain things, and you can't stop that by abusing somebody. Just bring it to their light and let them make their own decisions. Number 1. The argument over what is and isn't anime has to stop. Anyone who is an anime fan will get into this argument about a certain type of anime in the course of their fandom. It may be over something simple like Avatar: The Last Airbender or Lady Death, or it might be something, harder to quantify, something like Twilight of the Cockroaches or something along that lines. And people will, just like a lot of the other arguments, they'll dig their heels in and refuse to compromise. Even if you put certain things to light, like, for example, Avatar: The Last Airbender. If you would take the show, the exact same show in every way, because a lot of people claim that it's not anime, but if you took the exact same show in every single way, changed it from Nickelodeon to Funimation, and made it just the vocals were Japanese, or the audio was Japanese, I don't know why I keep saying vocals, and then we had to wait, like English-speaking countries had to wait 2 to 3 years to get an English version, you would say it's anime. Most anime fans would trumpet it from the sky saying that it's anime. Some will still dig in their heels, but this hypothetical explains a lot. Like me, I've always seen that anime is a complete style. If it has live action parts, it's not really anime, it's kind of a fusion. But if it's animation that isn't cartoon, it is anime. I'm not really sure where I stand on CGI. I'm kind of on the cusp of that. But what I'm saying is that, the only thing with Avatar: The Last Airbender, the fact that was that Japan had to wait a year to 2 to 3 years to get it dubbed into their language. That's the only real difference that happened with that anime, besides the fact that it was made from Nickelodeon, not Funimation. If you just change the name, most people wouldn't have even noticed. I know this is a big controversial and argumentative kind of section to things for me to just state my opinion on it, but the thing is, everybody has their opinion on what is and isn't anime. Like me, Lady Death is one of my favorite anime shows, though technically it's an American production, so it's not technically anime. But I class it as anime because, to me, anime has a certain style and a certain soul behind it, and cartoons have a completely different style and soul behind them. And to me, that's what you got to interpret. If you feel that it's anime, it should be classed as anime. That's my opinion. Feel free to argue it in the comments if you want. either way, thanks for watching, and if there are any things that really annoy you about fellow anime fans, or things that we really need to work on to make this a better community of anime fans, just, put it in the comments, and yeah, subscribe if you like this video, or check out some of my other videos. Yeah, either way, subscribe and stay an anime fan. Have a good one.